Ted. Hi, Ted. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the January 22nd meeting of the Deerfield Energy Conservation Committee. Present is Greg Franceschi, Steve Svoboda, M.A. Swedland, Bruce Dolan, almost a member yet, Ted Harvey from FERCog as a special guest star. All right. I don't think at least I haven't been able to find, and I was waiting for Lori, but hi, Steve. Anybody know where the minutes of the last meeting are?
No, I
Neither
didn't
do I.
find them, but that
Let's
doesn't mean I look
let's
very
table them.
hard.
I don't think we decided anything anyway. Um, so our next item is membership. Uh, You should all know that Bruce Dolan is very interested in becoming a member of the Deerfield Energy Conservation Committee. And he can tell you about himself. He has been contingently appointed by the select board as of last night, should we choose to approve him.
You
Um,
and I both interviewed him.
we both interviewed him. Bruce, do you want to say anything to Greg and Steve about your interest in doing all this?
Sure. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you both. I'm Bruce Dolan. I live on Main Street, North Main Street in the center of town, right above Cheslick's. I'm a renter, but I also have a degree in economics, and I happen to work for ISO New England. And while I can't speak for them, I can help my neighbors and the people in this town understand how they're connected to the grid and how the things that we do in our town affect the grid and how we're impacted by it. So I want to be a resource for my neighbors. I want to be a resource for you guys to help explain to our neighbors, what projects we're working on, what things we think are good for the town. And I want to engage with my neighbors and just kind of be a resource for all of you guys and everyone else.
I would say that I was told about Bruce's presence in the town by Tim Hilchey and Pat Ryan. And that's sort of how the process started. I think you maybe talked to Tim. I think
Yes.
you go to a lot of meetings.
Yeah, I show up. I like to be present. I'd like to
Yeah.
be, around.
And I
And
saw him last night.
and we now have Ryan Kingston just joined, and he is our most recent member until you, Bruce. You're pushing
Awesome.
him back on the arrivals here. Shall we, anybody have any questions, things they'd like to say? Or hi, Lori, I have a question for Lori.
Computer's not turned on yet, but I will as soon
You'll
as. Oh,
take minutes? Yay. I'm going to wait for Lori. Lori's computer, I mean. Bruce, Lori usually takes the minutes.
Oh, wonderful.
When she can't, I try to keep up, and I'm terrible at it.
There she is.
Aha. All right. Uh, Anybody have a comment, or shall we go ahead and vote for membership for Bruce Dolan?
I move that we appoint Bruce Dolan as a member of our committee.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Oh, wait, can a chair second? I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think so.
Oh, Ryan,
I'll second. Yeah.
there we go. So, we have the motion to fulfill the contingency of the select board's approval of Bruce Dolan by appointing him or by voting to recommend him to the select board that's already approved him. So there. What's the vote? I say yes.
I
I see hands, hands, hands. Looks unanimous to me. Welcome aboard, Bruce Dolan. You are
Thank you.
very
Pleasure to be
welcome.
here.
Thank you. Thanks for your interest, and we look forward to all the help we will
Yeah.
be loading on you.
Of course.
Next, Ryan, you want to talk about the energy storage grant? We kind of didn't get
Who has
around.
their hand up?
Oh, who did? Somebody did? I didn't see
I
it.
don't know. It's on my screen.
Oh,
I
David,
don't
you
think
have your hand up.
Oh, I'll be darned. How the hell did I do that? There we go. What was I just saying? It's Ryan about energy storage. You want to fill us in on where that is or isn't? And
Yeah, so just some emailing back and forth, and just based on the very quick turnaround time and sort of lack of engagement, we just decided to table this for now.
yeah,
I think it's a good thing to keep in the back of our minds if energy storage is of interest, if it's of value to any of our buildings. It's good to know that there's sort of a existing state program. Maybe there'll be more rounds in the future. But it seemed like maybe we were putting a little bit of cart before the horse and pursuing a grant before we had everything
yeah,
lined up. So we'll see.
boogers. But yeah,
I wonder if there's the tricky thing about cart before the horse is that we have to we have to be in there before too much planning with buildings and everything gets done. Otherwise, we miss the opportunity. So, is there anybody that like connected with this grant program that could come out and make a presentation to the select board and the library committee or something like that, or the 1888 or town campus group, the CCI or something like that? Do you know, Ryan?
Sorry, I lost my internet connection.
Oh.
Can you just repeat?
Oh, that's I was just wondering if we could like share information from if there's a person like who comes with the whole grant that might come out and speak to a group and explain it so that we can have it in the thought process, because I don't know how what's the word I'm looking for? But finalized everything is in our town campus. I think it's still a little fluid. But it would be nice if somebody could come out and explain this so that people can start thinking about it.
mm.
Did you come across anybody who might come out and do that kind of thing?
I haven't, but we could reach out to folks at DWR potentially. I guess I'm thinking about the broader decarbonization planning process, and maybe that's where something like a battery would fit in if we're evaluating our buildings for heating, electrification, and solar.
Yeah.
That would be where we'd want to sort of add on battery as part of a decarbonization strategy.
And I'm seeing more and more about peaking, even on the Eversource website, and the ability to sell some electricity back to them, I think is likely to get more and more lucrative because they're desperate to get peaking handled. Bruce probably knows a lot more about this than I do, but I have read, I think I sent everybody a New York Times article that was touting the value of peaking, saying that with good peaking, meaning people cutting back or delivering battery stored power to the grid, or cutting back at peak times, it could do a lot to make up for the new demand from AI data centers. In fact, the article said it could more than do that. But I see battery storage as a really good thing. I am aware that people are balking at huge battery packs, but I guess a key question would be how much space would be needed and what, would make it practicable for resiliency, for having, say, an emergency center at Frontier or wherever that could support people in the event of some sort of crisis.
So I went to a ISO New England consumer liaison meeting a couple years ago, and maybe I can find my notes. Oh, somebody came and spoke about how they got all kinds of grant money to take a community center and weatherize it, solarize it, and put in battery storage. And I don't think it's very big. The other source of information that maybe would be useful is I know Montague did a microgrid feasibility study a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
So maybe there's something in there.
Chris
I don't know.
Mason has time now. He lives
Oh,
in
yeah.
Montague. He could tell you all about it.
Oh, that would be cool.
I have my hand up, but
Oh.
I'm gonna just talk.
Go for it. Yes. The chair recognizes M.A.
Thank
Sweetly.
you. I was trying to be polite, but it didn't work. So
I didn't recognize the hand. Okay.
Ryan, is this specifically is this battery storage that could go anywhere? I know when we talked about at the municipal vulnerability, that was all about centers where people could go and survive. But it could be any building anywhere for the grant.
Yeah, it was specifically public buildings, and there was a resiliency component of it. So that was part of the question is, is what building made sense from like an emergency standpoint. But ideally it would have multiple benefits, right? So if you did a building like Frontier where you could use it for daily or monthly peak shaving or the revenue and savings part of it, but you can also use Frontier as like an emergency center, then you sort of hit, in my mind, that made sense because it's like two criteria. But
Yeah.
So were you getting the impression you were in the MVP? You came to that.
I didn't make it to the
You
MVP
didn't.
one.
I couldn't remember. There was, and I think we need to check on this because I got the impression, but the acoustics are so bad in there that I can't hear the person at the end of the table or where, in the middle. Now my hearing's not great, but there was some implication that Frontier was already designated and we didn't really have a choice as to where the emergency center would be. So I think we need to check on that because it may be that if we want to check both boxes, and I think Christopher Dolan or Greg could answer that question pretty easily because they were at that meeting. No, Chris wasn't, but Greg was. So if that's the case and we want to check both boxes, we have to, deal with Frontier.
Yeah. Well, just the timeline was the sort of primary concern. So the deadline application is tomorrow.
Right.
For the evaluation piece. There are other grant programs, but those grant programs are based on like you having a design or having some project
Right.
already. So, we can still look into this. I still think it's a good thing for us to be considering, but we should be doing it because it's something we need, not because there's money for it necessarily, right?
Right. But I'm just saying that, we have buildings that we're looking at putting solar on all over the place, but they aren't likely to qualify as emergency centers. So
Right.
I think if we want to check both boxes, I think it's a conversation that we ought to continue, definitely. It's just that we weren't ready for this one, and it makes sense to have solar on the roof rather than just battery storage.
Right. Yeah, especially if you're adding solar, right? Because you want to kind of bank that solar power. Not that the school is using as much energy at night, but ideally you're using both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also they can send it other places,
Right.
and
Right.
they also heat the building. I mean, in other words,
Right.
Right.
not electrically, but if the mini splits and this is and that. So I mean, I think it's worth really looking into, but we need a lot more information before we move forward. So keep
Mhm.
track of it. Thank you.
Um, let's see. Should we follow up on a few pieces? Like, I- one of us contact Greg Snedeker. I don't know if I spelled his name right. About the building, and maybe even did you get any information? Did he reply to you at all, Ryan? About? Oh, okay. Um, because I think it all fits in with the climate leader stuff too. So if we could apply with climate leader for solar on the library, and then once we're designated, and follow up with looking into feasibility for a battery. I mean, it would be nice to it could all snowball and fit together.
Yeah. No,
Really have
good.
thinking about bigger picture with the whole
Mhm.
campus and everything. I'm not sure. So is it capital planning? Who would be the group that is still have their finger on the like bigger picture? There's not really a town campus. Is that CCIMA? Who do you think is?
I think the town administrators are
Okay.
the people to talk to. But first we have to figure out what information we want to collect.
Yep.
But the library is not going to be, if we want to check the emergency location box also, then we need to figure out a place, and the library is not a place where we can have an emergency center. The elementary school could be.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be the same
Well, it
building.
doesn't, but it I think it would. I don't know. If you're collecting the solar there, then you're collecting, and the batteries there, then you're collecting it behind the meter. If it's just a battery storage, then it's being supplied by Eversource, the energy, and then
Yeah.
so like if we put it on in Frontier now, then we wouldn't have the advantage of the solar, and Eversource would be supplying the electricity.
Yeah, no, I think the solar should come first. Or
That was the cart before the horse that the MVP was talking about.
oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, we got to get that horse going.
yes. Speaking of which,
I have some comments on that, but I think it comes later.
okay. I'm not quite sure. I saw emails going back and forth with Ted and Ryan and concerning Rebecca Mauser-Hoy about solar engineering tech assistance. Can somebody speak to that? What were we talking about, and where does that stand?
Oh, it's from the regional planning group. Oh, Ted's here.
Yeah, that email started because there was the question about getting solar on roof of one building.
Right.
Wastewater treatment.
Wastewater. Yep.
I have some additional information about that.
Okay. Well, so long story short, hello to everybody that I haven't officially met yet.
Yeah.
I'm Ted Harvey. I'm from the FERCog. Long story short, I had reached out to Jeff Bettner, who's on their energy committee in Shelburne, because they did a similar project recently. He suggested they worked with the consultant Wesson & Sampson, talked to them. I spoke with Rebecca this morning, and she wasn't able to make it today, which is fine. But she gave me, and I can forward this to the group. She sent me in as an email. But we basically talked about the question had come up about whether, and maybe if there's other things you wanted to add about whether you could get a sense of, cost savings and how much energy would be produced to put solar on the wastewater treatment center. So, and the other piece of it was, could it be done before, in the next quickly before town meeting to get those numbers. So one of the options was to go through a Green Communities Meta grant. Those aren't even out yet. We can still look at that, but that's a longer term thing. I think that would actually be a good option for kind of a fuller assessment. But again, those aren't even available yet. They usually come out around now, maybe into February. The other option, I did ask them if they could just give us give you guys kind of a rougher estimate, just to have something. And they said they could do a helioscope layout. And they again, I'll forward this all to you, but they provide the layout, size, the kilowatts, and then estimated generation. And they could do it for, I asked price, and they said, $1,000 or $2,000. And again, this is real high level. So if the town wanted something like that, just to get a sense of kind of high level what it would look like, then that's a potential option. So I think
that's Weston. Was that?
Yeah, that was Weston and Sampson. And I mean, they're just the folks that, I mean, I've worked with them in the past, but they just happen to be the folks that Shelburne had worked with. So
yeah,
that was all.
Could the Energy Committee pay for that?
it? Actually, that should be on our agenda. We are coming up on our request time.
But that's after town. We wouldn't see that money till after town meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, this year's already? Sorry.
I was just going to say that today I contacted PV Squared and I contacted Northeast Solar, and both of them are willing to come out, I believe, for free. No, PV Squared definitely. I forgot to ask, but what basically do the kind of thing that they do on your home. And so we're interested in a solar installation, and how much we want to know, how many panels we could put up, and how much it would generate, and what the savings would be. And so they both said they'd be happy to do it. And I've already contacted Alex Galloway to work with them. But she's out of town, so I just emailed her. And so that would be for free. It's not going to be as high level as Ted's, but we would have it, in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And that's probably enough.
Last time I asked, said they wouldn't do it until we had the money in hand. That's awesome.
I don't know. I talked to them. I mean, obviously, if they do this, we have to go out for an RFP and stuff, but they are both interested. Greenfield Solar was not, but I think that's because they're not DCAM approved, and I think those other two are PV Squared, and I explained that we were trying to get the information so that we could qualify, and that we would then be qualified for $1 million grant. I think that it made them interested. $1 million. I don't know, but so that's where that sits now. Alex is going to take it from here, probably set up a meeting with Matthew Morse to get a tour of the building and collect an electric bill and whatever else they need.
Great.
So you're going to follow up with that, Emma?
Well, I sent it to Alex, and I will follow. I mean, she'll, I'm sure, get back in touch with me. But I think at this point it has to be somebody from town.
So for the minutes, what can I say that they're going to offer? Not a proposal, but
you can call it a proposal.
Okay.
I mean, it's a free proposal. I don't know.
A rough estimate. Yeah.
A rough estimate.
Okay.
A
And
preliminary
we'll have two.
estimate.
If they both do it, we'll have two to compare, and that's always a good thing, I think.
Is it the
Yes.
library that you need an electric bill for?
Wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, okay.
And I told them both, I told both of them that we were looking at ground mount and rooftop. So that, I think that's all pretty simple process. When Alex gets back, I'm sure she'll be able to
Mhm.
put that all
Yeah.
together.
But hey, you only mentioned the wastewater treatment plant, not the solar, I mean, not the library?
No, Tim's got that covered.
Oh. Tim has a proposal or some proposals for the library?
No, he found money for it. He came up with some ARPA money that was going to be available, and they're gonna put solar on the library.
Yeah.
You know, but the regular process. I don't know who he'll hire or any of that, but the money is available.
Wow.
Amazing.
Tim's a miracle worker, I tell you. He shifted some stuff around and you know was able to pay for something else and then use the ARPA money for this.
Wow, that's exciting.
Very.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Well,
Um,
there's some good news. Huh?
So basically, it's the DPW. I mean, if we can put solar on both, you know, ground mounted and rooftop at the wastewater treatment plant, I bet you that's $1 million.
Mm.
But if it isn't, we've got the DPW. And then all of our municipal buildings of any significance, except the schools, will be solar. And we'll have solar on the roof.
Yeah.
can I add to this? So my emails were about power options.
Oh, yeah, right.
So there's power options has like authorizing legislative language that allows them to procure energy services on behalf of public entities. And they primarily do this by offering power purchase agreements for solar. So
Oh,
they have a vendor they've competitively selected. It's Select. So if you as a public entity enter an agreement with Power Options works with you and Select to design solar installation. They come up with the costs, the savings, etc. But the town would not own that solar array. We would basically commit to purchasing electricity that is generated from the array, and that electricity we purchase is based on a rate that Select and Power Options work out. And that rate is based on any grants we take advantage of, any utility incentives, tax credits, etc. So all that goes into a calculator and they spit out, here's what you'll be paying for the next 20, 25 years for this array, but we don't pay anything up front.
That's Mohawk has done. Mohawk Regional School.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's solar up so quick.
Yeah, so like there's pros and cons to that. I know Alex mentioned we already have a power purchase agreement, but I think she was talking about the municipal aggregation, which I don't think conflicts
no, it's
with
different.
solar.
Yeah, I was surprised when she said that because I don't think we have one. So
No, we don't. We have on the 2 or 3 solar farms, but
that's going the other way. They are privately owned, but we're just getting income from them.
right.
Actually, we're also the host, so I think we get some electricity from them, but it's not a power purchase agreement.
Okay. Yeah, it's all these different models. So I'm happy to set up a call with Power Options. They're happy to chat with us about the solar options in addition to the decarbonization planning offerings. So I can coordinate an info session with them.
I think that's,
Okay.
I mean, the more information we can get, the better.
Yeah. Brian, do you know, will they actually do a feasibility study? Because the big thing with the elementary school is that there was a question about whether the roof was adequate.
We can ask them. We can ask them if they can do sort of what Ted was alluding to, like a helioscope sort of analysis, or just a high level review. I've seen, in addition to the helioscope analysis, people can look at the
What
Google
is a
Earth
Helios?
rooftop.
What is it? A what?
It's like a
Shows you where the
helioscope.
path of the sun is and how
Yeah,
much
they look
juice
at
Oh,
like
you're gonna get.
okay.
solar energy
Thank you.
hitting different parts of a roof and tell you how much it'll
Right.
Right.
generate.
Yeah.
A little more detailed than like a Google. You can get like an average KW per square foot based on, industry average, but the helioscope's a little bit more specific.
Yeah, so that's one thing, but then it's the actual, I mean, I think the Frontier roof was redone, the Frontier roof is fine, but we're not sure about the Deerfield.
We're just not sure it's it's a weight. I think what you're talking about is a weight bearing issue.
Yeah. And Tim was suggesting at one point a superstructure,
Right.
that either side. But I'm not sure the advantage of that over a parking canopy. It seems like you almost have to do the same amount of structure, but maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
They,
The canopies are a huge thing, yeah. So
I'll save my questions for the presentation. I think that's great.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's called Power Options?
power options, yeah.
Okay.
PPAs really make a lot of sense for something like a parking canopy because those are so expensive.
Mm,
So to like avoid the upfront costs,
Yep.
is attractive. Even if the like lifetime cost savings aren't as good, they're still
Yeah.
good.
Right.
yeah.
You just don't have to worry about maintenance either. So
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows how much, assuming we become a climate leader community, how much that the grants will go. I mean, how far it'll go and what it'll
Mm.
cover. So that's all information in the hopper and onwards.
Yeah. Speaking of climate leadership, anything we need to be fulminating about at the moment?
Yeah. Actually, David, I'm looking at the minutes from the last time.
Which I couldn't find.
Oh,
122, when were they?
12:15. Well, I can send them back out again.
Okay.
But anyway, we talked about that person who did the NEEP presentation at the regional meeting. And I think her name is Carolyn or something. She was asking about
Yeah.
making a
Her
presentation.
name was not Carolyn, but close.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte,
Oh,
Yeah, Charlotte. That's right.
do you have any update on that, Ted? Is she planning to work with a couple towns or?
I think she had sent out a survey just to get a better sense. So I think it went out. I don't know if it went out to everybody on this group, but I think it went out to, well, hopefully, did anybody on this group get that?
Yeah.
I think I
Okay,
did. I
okay.
think I
I
filled it
filled
So
out.
I
it
think
out.
she was, okay, good. So I think she was just putting that information together and she'll get back out to you. So that's all I,
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what was her name and what is it, the thing? Charlotte?
her name is Charlotte.
It's
I forget the last name. WEIGEL,
Reg-
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Um, she's basically looking to put together a group. They're especially looking at, well, Franklin County, more rural towns, a group that is basically promoting or getting educated and being able to educate others on the I'm missing the word.
Specialized stretch code.
Yes, thank you. Specialized stretch codes in general. In our case, more of the specialized stretch codes.
Mm.
So that's where it ties into the climate leaders, and that's all.
I
that
think
is.
there were two aspects and two people presenting. One was the one that was putting together trainings so that people can train people within their community, and the other one was to help people pass the specialized stretch code.
Yep.
Specifically. So
Right. Energy core thing. Yeah.
and she knows our situation and would love to be able to help us. So her last name is WEIGEL.
There you
And it's is that
Legal.
is that the organization Northeast Energy?
No, yeah, something.
go. Yeah, Northeast Energy Partnership, NEEP.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're based in Boston, but they cover a lot more than just Massachusetts.
Okay.
And you can look if you Google NEAT, it'll probably come up to find out more about them.
Any movement on the other parts of climate leadership?
Possibly. I might be able to talk to you about it
Okay.
next week.
All right. Well, good. That's encouraging, I hope. Uh, green community, are we done with climate leadership? Anybody have other things to add?
I don't think so.
Can I just throw in this one thought? Have we talked to any, I'm just wondering if we can get any students to help us promote. It just
The-
whenever.
Our group is talking about trying to get Frontier students,
Okay,
well, I don't know, whatever we're called, the climate leader, whatever, organizing committee, how about?
oh,
But
okay,
right now, the energy committee can do anything it wants because we don't know whether it's going to be a
Mm,
citizens petition or going to come before the select board.
yeah.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, that all of those things are definitely key.
Mhm.
I would also say that the organizing committee decided, and there were about 13 or 14 people on that committee, and we decided that we needed more workers. And so there's going to be something called, there's going to be a group of lieutenants. I hate using military.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially now.
But anyhow, a group of people who don't have to come to meetings but are anxious to help out and be part of what's going on. And what would happen is that those people, if they were willing to share the information with their network and convince people, basically their ultimate goal would be to convince people to come to town meeting. To share information and leaflets and this and that with their group, then they would receive a monthly information sheets and also minutes and not minutes, but plans and where we were going and what's happened so far. And so we're looking for volunteers and the main thing is they don't have to come to meetings and do all of that kind of thing. They can just be willing to be workers.
supporters or something. Yeah.
So that, I think those options will go out and you all might be invited to be part of that.
Mhm.
I'm going to throw in real quick, David, that Carolyn got back to me and she said that she was in the process of getting the elementary school approved, but ran out of time. But right now, the emergency building is Frontier, but we don't own it, so that makes it, we don't control the building, so it makes it difficult. So
Right, exactly. That was what was coming up. Yeah, thanks.
so if we can find out where that whole process of looking into DES, I don't know. Do you want me,
DES makes a lot more sense for us
do you want me to
because,
Greg about that or somebody?
yeah, I think it's definitely worth pursuing because
Ryan, do you want to just keep going with that instead of, but I'm just wondering if we could ask him if there's any way that we could follow through on looking into designating the elementary school. Because it's much easier to do anything with our.
Right.
Yeah.
you can
Anybody
call
else?
on yourself.
MA, you said you thought Frontier had already been designated as
Well, I
the
think it is designated, but what Lori's saying is that,
what I want to
I'm
pin
sorry.
down is who does the designating?
I don't know. That's
Oh.
part of what's going on, but I assume that Greg would be able to find that out.
Okay.
And Chief Pachoric might be involved because it's
Yeah.
the emergency response thing.
I don't know. But having four towns, having it be for just Deerfield and having it be at Frontier, or is it the center? And I asked this, and again, my hearing's bad. I couldn't hear the answer, but um, is it for all four towns if it's at Frontier? And are
Right.
people going to really drive down from Conway for an emergency center?
Yeah,
Or, I mean, I don't quite get it,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I don't know how it works.
And Lori, you talked to Carolyn about this?
I just sent her a quick email because I know she's
Oh.
talked about it in the past. I mean, a quick text. She's
Oh.
talked about it in the past. So
Yeah, she would know the answer to that stuff.
Okay. Green communities, should we move on? Are we done with climate leader?
I think so.
Okay. Green communities. I'm a little vague on where we stand. I keep prodding and Alex says there's one more thing and that it'll go out. Ted, you've got some of that. Are we all set with final reporting on the previous grant?
Based on Alex's last email, she said you're on track to submit it by the end of, so like hopefully next week. She and the town accountant had one more meeting, and then they're going to submit. So it sounds like submitting next week. So for clarify for those who aren't aware,
Yeah.
the last Green Communities grant, I think it was 2023, I want to say. And it was for the building management system at the school.
At the elementary school.
At the elementary school, correct. Yeah. And so it's all done, it's all implemented. But there's a final reporting that has to be done for the Green Communities program. And this came up at the end that there was a few loose ends and it hadn't been completed. So it is being completed now. It sounds like from Alex's point email that should be all set. I would just check in with her next week. But it sounds like if it's not in, well, I guess she's out today and tomorrow. I guess I would check in with her by the middle to end of next week, and I'll follow up with her too. But it sounds like it should be all set. It had to be, again, for everybody's clarification, the final reporting in order to be eligible for the April application, which is the April 10th, I want to say, 14th, 10th. That's when the next application is due. But the reporting, any reporting had to be done or has to be done by the end of February. So it should be all set. It should be fine. And that's where you stand. But the other good thing, and we can talk about this, it doesn't have to be at this meeting, but the next, or at least the plan project was for Frontier for the that building management system, funding for that. And that's pretty much, I mean, I think we'll have to go back and look at the numbers one more time just to, if there's any updates to that. But because we were kind of ready to go for the last application, we should be good to go. So in February, I'll touch base with, I'll get that ball rolling again too. So we're ready for April.
And I had forgotten the date. It's April 10th is the
It
next.
is, let me just double check. I pulled it up because let's see, April 10th. Yep.
Okay.
Any word, David, from any of the other towns or Ted? Is anybody else signing up to do anything for Frontier?
Nobody jumped right in. A couple said they were working on other things, so they wouldn't be yet. Mostly,
The only one I know is I think it was Conway that responded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that
Bernie.
so they had applied for one. They applied for a lighting, so no, they wouldn't be involved, or they wouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
And I sort of had a feeling that Sunderland was trying to do something, and
I was under that impression that they were getting their ducks lined up to have Frontier on it. I don't know.
they
Maybe
didn't respond.
Ted can get them to respond.
I can try again
I
It would
too.
be
Yeah, I
great
can
if,
try,
it would be great if they could piggyback on that grant,
Okay. Yeah, I'll check in with them.
because then we can
Right.
come up with maybe doing some of the mini split hookup stuff.
Yeah. Yay.
Ted, are you in touch with Paul Newland and Whately, the chair of the Energy Committee there?
No, but only because we don't really do, because of our grants that we don't cover them.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay,
Um,
so that's more complicated then.
But I mean, that's fine. I can be if you know.
Yeah.
It's just like not my it's not what I
Right.
normally do, but it's if need be, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
I know him, so, and I've reached out to him, but he didn't respond, so I don't know. I could try again.
Is Whately in Franklin County?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Or David, I sent your last letter to him and got no response.
Me
You know,
too.
that your reach out letter, but I
He
could
was,
bug him. I could bug him again.
give it a try. What the heck? Anything else on green communities?
Yeah, I just had a question about
Yes, Brian.
the next project would be on the regional school district. There is a grant specifically for regional school district decarbonization. I wasn't
Oh.
sure if Ted or if anyone has looked into that grant program and if the BMS would be eligible. I honestly haven't done any digging into that grant, but the
Where
building
is it?
itself is kind of the
DOER?
intent. It is DOER, yeah, under green communities.
Uh,
Ooh,
yes. I think that I don't know when the due date of that is. Let me look at. I know what you're talking about. Let me take a look at that closely, and I'll reach back out to you all about that
yeah,
one.
that could be really important. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Um,
Oh, so there's a due. I'm just looking now. There's a due date on March 6th. So yeah, let me take a look at that tomorrow, and I'll
What,
get back to you.
what's it
Mhm.
called?
It is called the Regional School District Decarbonization Grant Program.
Oh. And is that come out of Green Communities?
It's under DOER. Yes, it is through their. Well, I'm just looking at it quickly. The grant program prioritizes eligible applicants and projects in the following order: located in disadvantaged communities as defined by Justice 40 initiative,
Yeah.
not currently part of the DOER Green Communities program, and thereby ineligible for Green Communities grants. Yeah, so okay, that's
Strike,
why.
that's two strikes.
Yeah,
So we don't
Stop
really,
reading before you get to the
Yeah.
third strike.
I know. I'm just here with all sorts of terrible and useless information. I came with the, folks from Weston Sampson. MA came in, swooped in, and got it for free.
Ah, well,
So
you never know, because at some point,
Yeah.
I mean,
really.
and they would be the people who would do the roof, the elementary school roof too,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, they're the,
Yeah.
does Weston Sampson do the building or just the engineering? I mean, the construction or just the
they
engineering?
don't do the construction, but they could, they'd project manage it too if they,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
after we get overview or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we just determined that grant doesn't really apply to us, right?
well,
safe
that's
enough.
just,
Wait,
that's the
Ryan's,
primary criteria if funds are limited. So
Yeah, we are green communities, so
might end up lower on the list, but
Yeah, I'll take a closer look just to make sure. But
I think all 4 towns are green communities. So
right,
yeah,
exactly.
everybody
Yeah.
but Monroe is.
Is that it for green communities? Should we move along?
yep.
Okay. General strategies.
what does that mean?
That means what do we want to do?
Oh, okay.
As an energy committee, what are we up to?
We're doing long range planning.
Long range and decarb and stuff. Um, I am, I mentioned peak shaving. Do we even, we're gonna be busy trying to sell climate leadership. I would otherwise hope to get general information out to people, like Lori, you've all said for years about interior storm windowing.
Yeah.
Uh, and and I just got a mini split, and now I didn't really understand. I'm delighted that even though it's only for a little portion of my house, my electric bill now drops to the heat pump rate.
Right.
So I think those are things people could use more information about, but I'm not the one who's going to go out and do it. So I don't,
Me either. Speaking of which, sidebar, David, if
yeah.
you still will offer to loan me your one of your Here Comes the Sun books, I would love to
Oh,
sort of try and pull some information about that.
oh,
Um,
certainly. Yeah, I got two
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
Um,
And you could pass it right along to the library after you.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, just a report, the weather has been chilly.
Hmm.
Our heat pump is quiet. Our house it hasn't been any blips, anything. We have the thermostat stays exactly where it's supposed to stay, and the house stays totally comfortable. Um, it's wonderful. Just reporting it.
So I'm sorry, but what if we had like thinking about climate leader stuff, what if we use these beautiful homes that you're talking about and do a little mini tour and cookies and I don't know, just thinking about that. So so many people have bad information about a heat pump, and you could
I
do.
know.
And
Well,
I'm thinking, aside from tours, Greg gave me the name of the guy at FCAT, and I'm trying to connect with him. He's gonna help me try to do films, but just little videos that we could put up to say walk through MA's house and look at a thermostat and pretend to be comfortable. No, of course we could be comfortable.
have our shorts and t-shirts
Do
on.
shorts and t-shirt. That's
Well,
it. Summer
oh,
in winter.
if we did a video of some people that they might recognize, like doing a walkthrough or doing a question and answer or something, I don't know. I don't have the details, but I think seeing is believing. So
Yeah, yeah. That would be great, and we could just do the filming there too.
yeah, right.
Uh,
Get
great.
photographs with paper and
I see a hand up with Ted.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually have to hop off in a second, but I
Yeah.
just to kind of complement what you're saying there. Greenfield has done, and I know other towns have done this too, an energy fair for the past 2 years.
Green
And
Greenfield.
I think it's supposed to be more for like regional, but the way it's promoted, it ends up being mostly Greenfield. But that could be another option. Um, I mean, you could tweak it however you wanted to, but they do a lot of. I think it's Greening Greenfield does it. We helped them the past 2 years, but they work with the town or they work with the city. It's a lot of bringing in vendors, just so. But it's for residents. It's for the public to kind of actually talk with folks that know something about this. But there's also one of the things that's nice is kind of to what you guys are talking about. They do a little talk, like folks that actually have gone through Mass Save and the whole process. They talk through it, personal experiences, and I think that's one of the things that always comes up, at least on the residential side, which I'm sure many of you are aware. Mass Save is not always the easiest process to go through. So
That's
just
what,
having,
but CET is really good at helping people.
yeah.
to
So
do
so
that.
CET was there this year, and I think they were there last year. So having folks there that just kind of are available. So I don't know if anyone went to the last year or two, but it's a limited amount of talking. Standing up front and talking in a big group. It's more of 10 minutes of that, and then it's just having the vendors around, folks that you can just go up, any resident can go up and talk to, leaving it a little more open. So just leaving that as an option too.
Yeah, and
That's a great thing.
I
And
appreciate that, Ted. I went this year and thought about doing it immediately, got the contacts from Nancy Hazard, but then kind of lost energy when it seemed like a lot of the incentives were no longer there.
Yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
think that's really a hard sell right now.
Yeah. So
Um,
so you could think about maybe tweaking it and not focusing on so much on the ascent. Maybe it's more of focusing on the climate leader side of things rather than the incentive.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could do something a little different.
So Lori, talk
Um,
to the committee about our conversation with DDIC.
Oh,
let me,
Okay.
Ted said he had to go. So
Oh, yeah.
anybody have any last questions for Ted? Anything?
do you need anything from us in order to work on the Green Communities proposal for Frontier, or you gonna?
Nope, not at the moment. Like I said, I think we're in pretty good shape. If I do, I'll come back to you. But
Oh,
Okay.
you
Thanks
are
for coming.
that's a
Yes.
high compliment.
Thank you, Ted, for coming and all your help. Now back to Lori and Diedick.
Okay, so I don't know if I need to take notes on this, but yeah, I was so glad that you were sitting there with me because he didn't brush us off at all. And I talked to somebody else on DDIC and
You better also explain what
Yeah.
happened, where we were and
What
happened.
Diedick is even.
we were at the Meet Your Town Committee's Engage Deerfield event a couple Sundays ago in the afternoon, and they had the select board and the planning board and some other boards, Community Preservation Act and DDIC, and there, and maybe I missed one, talking about what they did, and then we broke in small groups and had a little question and answer time. So Travis
Diedick is
DDIC is
Deerfield Industrial. It's the industrial park management system.
Right. So besides all the details of the fact that they are not a town board and they are appointed by the select board, but they're federally chartered. The key thing here that you need to know about is that Travis Sprague is the man we talked to, was interested in maybe helping us promote solar, maybe advertising some kind of information session there. And I remember last year on a regional energy committee meeting, or maybe 2 years ago now, somebody from the Green Consumers Energy Alliance made a presentation, and I asked if he would, come out and talk to businesses, and he would. So again, there's the thing where the incentives aren't there, but I don't know. I don't know if there is any, what the latest might be to promote it to businesses, because it could be also, if they have battery storage, they could be making money during, peak. So
Rick Andriol is on DDIC, and I think he's the chair, but he said he would meet with the energy committee because he'd like to be able to figure out a way to promote or encourage the businesses in DDIC. He can't do anything about it, but he can communicate with them, and it is a way that we could get in if we had a program to sell to the to the businesses that are part of the energy park.
Uh-huh.
What is that person's name?
Rick or Richard Andriole, Andriole.
He's the treasurer.
Is that what he is? Okay, so he was the one who came and spoke.
Oh, but we talked to Travis Sprague.
We didn't. We talked to Rick Andriole. You may have talked to Travis. I don't know. I don't know anything about Travis Sprague.
That's what I wrote down.
There's no Travis on DDIC.
Okay,
I don't know where that name came from, but
Where-
I've never heard it.
I was so excited that I'd written it down. Okay, you don't know who that is.
No.
Okay. So Richard Andriole is who we talked to. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure where we go from there. I could try and make an attempt to contact that green energy consumers person again.
Well, maybe it's a good idea just to get in touch with DDIC and just talk to them about it, or Rick. I mean, he was willing to, so that was an opening in it. Maybe that's the brainstorming we do. See if we can get anywhere before we try and bring somebody in to talk without from.
I just want to know what possibilities we could offer them, but because I think he said that I think they maybe have 4 meetings a year or something.
They meet every other month on
Okay.
a Thursday at 8:45 in the morning.
All right.
Their next meeting is the second Thursday in February.
Okay.
Well, first, are we interested in pursuing that? Do we have the so-called energy that somebody wants to get involved in pursuing that now, or are we overloaded? Personally, overloaded.
Yeah, me too.
I could do some background prep, but it might be something for next fall. I'm retired.
Or the summer.
Or the
When
summer.
you're not working.
Yeah, right.
Municipal bike lane stuff, MVP, CCI.
Well, there was an article in the paper this morning. The town reworking the center of South Deerfield in 2027, and they're going to do a mock-up basically with striping of different bump outs and a variety of different things, but they didn't mention bike lanes in it at all. So I don't know whether that was just the reporter didn't ask that question, or it's not in their whatever their thought process, but we should follow up with Alex.
Are they having a public hearing or something?
Didn't say anything about a public hearing.
I mean, like not a hearing, but a information session. I mean, where are they mocking this up, and how, and what?
They're physically going to stripe the roads.
Oh, permanent. So it's permanent. It's not just a.
No, it's basically what they're saying is they want to find out whether the traffic if they close off Park Street, they're going to they'll put the equivalent of Jersey barriers or planters.
Yeah. Okay.
Block off Park Street, and they'll stripe out certain places to, make it possible to envision and test out their ideas for crosswalks, to make the crosswalks narrower so that there wouldn't be as long a space to cross, which is great. And I think it really is a good idea to test everything out and get people's feedback before they make it permanent. But it didn't say anything at all about bike lanes.
At that same meeting with MA, what group was it that we were with? Oh, maybe the Open Space Committee. We were talking about the strip of land. Were you there too, Greg? But between 5 and 10 and North Main Street, that is like a gas pipeline right of way that could potentially be.
It goes up 5 and 10, and where were we that we were talking about that? I don't remember. I was there though.
It was a meeting.
Yeah.
I
Could
think
you elaborate? I'm not understanding what you're saying.
There's a right of, it was like, well, the location was where the there's a gas pipeline right of way, and they were talking about, yeah, it was open space. You're right. Making a walkway, a way to walk. And the location of this right of way, which is for the gas pipeline, was right by the intersection, of North Main and 5 and 10. Lori's right. I'm a step behind her because I'm trying to pull it out of my memory. But and the idea was extend the walkway so that people could walk on. I'm not sure where they were heading people. Where were they heading people? Mill Village?
I think it came up because that's part of their mission statement is, expanding recreational opportunities, including hiking and bike lanes.
Yeah.
I think we were mentioning that because of that.
Yeah. So, do you know, Greg, Andrea,
Leapson?
Yeah, Leapson.
No.
Get in touch with the Open Space Committee, and Alan's on it, but he's not home now, so I can't talk to him. But if you want to stress the bike lane part of it, that would be the group to get in touch with. And Town Hall has contact information. I'm sure the website does too, the Open Space Committee. Julie Caswell or Andrea are chair. I'm not sure which.
Julie is.
Julie Caswell is?
Yes.
So was there any action we should be taking toward bike stuff aside from contacting?
Well, I can check in with Alex to see if she if bike lanes are in that plan or not.
Right, that would be good.
Perfect time to check that all, make that all work.
Yeah. Thank you. Do that.
Yeah, and pursue whether the Open Space is doing anything with bike lanes. I think that's also a really might as well have them helping us out with that.
Right. And MVP CCI reports, do we need anything?
I think we sort of did some of the MVP stuff with the battery storage. They're just moving forward with grants, and oh no, there is one big thing, which is actually in my other report, but GZA, which is the engineering company that's doing the whole Bloody Brook and that whole downtown area, is going to be giving their final report on flooding potential, 16 inches in downtown in a 100-year flood, the entire downtown from Pelican all the way through all of our public buildings. And they are doing that February, I can tell you because it's on my calendar. It's the beginning of February.
Just for anybody who's wondering or new, municipal vulnerability.
It's on January 27th, next week.
Eek.
At 4:30 p.m. at Town Hall.
Okay.
And it's they're giving their final report and with lots of maps, and it's an MVP grant is sort of a final thing, and then recommendations on what we should do about additional culverts and store water storage and all the things that will help us avoid flooding in big storms.
You said 4:30.
I'm sorry?
4:30?
Yes, 4:30.
That's what I wrote. So good. Okay.
At Town Hall.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to I'm hate acronyms myself. So MVP is Municipal Vulnerability Project, CCI is Community something,
Connecting.
Connecting Communities
Initiative.
Initiative. There we go. Which is sort of to get all the town groups talking to each other. So
I think we ought to give Bruce an opportunity to ask questions. If
Yeah.
he's still here, and we haven't totally lost him.
No, I have no major questions. This all makes sense to me. Actually, I was going to say if you guys have any questions about what shaving the peak means, I'm more than happy to explain that a little more in depth and why it's a good idea to shave the peak. But yeah, I'll leave, if you guys have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. But as for me, I don't have any questions at the moment.
I have a question. So
Sure.
I'm reading on last month's minutes also that you work with ISO New England. Is that right?
Yes. So I do data governance for them. I help internal customers and internal businesses, our different departments, take a look at their data and do internal analysis. And when we're talking about that data and doing acronyms, abbreviations, and definitions, that's me. I help do that. I help define those. I help make sure that people understand what they're talking about and when they're talking about it and make it digestible for our business users and other independent service operators or ISOs around the country, like NISO and ERCOT or FERCOT rather, and Cal ISO as well.
excellent. That's very valuable.
Let's see.
Yeah.
What did I have? Okay, so do you have your so the little bit I know is that a lot of the peaker plants are gas fired and they're only used for very short periods a year, and so I'll expose my bias. So battery storage and shaving the peak are a good alternative to those plants because they're often pretty polluting. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, so
Expensive.
the shaving the peak means as we start to demand more of the grid, ISO will start to deploy different energy resources. And when we deploy those resources, we try to deploy them in descending order from most energy efficient and most green to least green. So at that peak, when yes.
That's really part of your criteria?
To my knowledge, not necessarily least green to most green. I wish it were that way.
Yeah.
Most often, it's least costly to most costly.
Yeah,
And
okay.
least costly tends to be green on account of the fact there's a lot of government incentives. In fact, at times when we have large producers in our interconnect, like Maine, when it's a particularly sunny day, they're actually asking us. The price is negative. They're asking us to take power from them because they don't have storage for it. So those lower prices tend to be green energy sources.
Yeah.
It's not an intent to deploy green energy sources so much as it's more of a market signal based on our structure of incentives. So yeah, let's not mistake it for an intent. That's not necessarily intent. It's just a byproduct of the way our markets are set up. But yeah, so as we start to deploy or get higher into the points of the day where people are consuming more energy, we start to deploy more resources to meet that demand. And as those more expensive resources start to get deployed, such as coal fire, which isn't necessarily deployed as often, or natural gas, which may be expensive like it is right now because it's particularly cold out, and residents have the priority on natural gas, we end up with spiking energy prices. The way we can shave that peak with battery storage is as that price starts to go up, we can start draining batteries as opposed to deploying natural gas fired or saying, oh, we don't have enough natural gas coming in. In fact, our dual fuel plants are going to have to run coal now, which is significantly worse. So in order to the byproduct of shaving the peak is not having to deploy those resources, and not having to deploy those resources is, as we can all probably agree, better for all of our air quality and our lives in general.
Bruce,
Yes.
are the smart meters a potential for doing peak shaving
Yes.
in residential things
Yes.
too?
So smart meters are going to help with that in some regard. But I believe there's an effort to try and capture behind the meter solar to better get an analysis on how we can minute to minute start managing the grid in a more effective way. That type of thing will help shave the peak because a lot of what we're doing is very well calculated, but it isn't necessarily accurate on the ground measurements. We're taking a look at the reactivity to our grid and the demand reactions. Whereas smart meters are going to give us a more granular control over how we can adjust and fine tune our grid to keep it perfectly in sync to the best of our
Oh,
ability.
very cool.
Yeah.
On that same line, do you think we'll be seeing what do they call it, like time of day based prices, and so that those of
I'm
us.
not sure.
Okay.
I can't necessarily speak to if that's coming or not.
Okay.
Right now we run on a locational marginal price. I know other places they do work, and I think you can opt into an hour by hour pricing system. But I think that's more of an EverSource conversation than it is a ISO conversation.
Yeah, I was just thinking about charging your EV at night.
Yes.
Type of thing.
Yeah, and I think if you actively participate in those, that's certainly a possibility and also a recommendation. Charge at night when it's least expensive. In fact, some of our major contributors, our participants, do that in the sense that we have in Massachusetts we have what's called Bear Swamp. It's just a pump storage facility. So at night when the energy's cheap, they pump a bunch of water uphill. And then when they're trying to make some money and we need to call on them, they let it flow back down through their hydro generators and they make some money on it.
That's the same as Northfield. Northfield Mountain does the same thing.
Yeah.
I have my EV charger is I got a rebate by letting EverSource control when I charge to avoid peak.
Yep, and that's one of those things that's coincides with that hourly
Right.
use. If you're not necessarily comfortable with the hourly for everything in your house, yeah, you can. I have a coworker who sits across from me who has a Tesla Powerwall. They do the same thing with EverSource, and when EverSource needs to, sometimes they even drain the battery down to 20%. So yeah, there's different ways to participate in stuff like that, and a lot of people who are in solar programs are still kind of making money off of selling back to the grid, or at least people I know who are kind of grandfathered into that are still currently making a little money.
Well, thanks, and we will be hoping to learn more from you.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, ISO
And-
actually does do public ISO 101 stuff. There's one in March that if anyone's interested, I can send you a link. You guys are more than welcome
Please do,
to visit in person, come to ISO. And it's a whole day event where they serve you lunch and whatnot, and it's about 5 hours of education on pretty high level things, supply and demand, but how ISO markets are operated. And they do discuss shaving the peak and what that peak looks like and what our graphs look like and how to interpret them. So I definitely recommend that for anybody who's interested in this. It seems like you guys are the lot who would be interested in this. So I will certainly share that.
I certainly would be. Yeah.
Liaison meetings? Because I've been to
yes. So this is I want to say this is ISO 101 and not WEM 101. So we have ISO 101, which is just an overview of what the ISO does. And then we have WEM 101, which is a wholesale electric market 101 course. And that's more of a deeper dive into how markets are decided and what participants. It's a little more nitty gritty, a little more granular on the market side of things. But ISO 101 is a high level of what we do and how we participate and what our side of the house is. Because for all intents and purposes, ISO is more or less an auction clearinghouse. It's not necessarily deciding anything so much as it's just figuring out what the marginal price is.
Cool. Well, so much to learn. We need to set a date and time for
Well,
next
do you
meeting.
want CCI?
Oh,
or do you want me
yeah.
to- If you've got a little bit of time,
Okay.
I have some notes from CCI. Elementary school. What they're doing right now or in the next little while is reviewing the budget. As all of you probably know, budgets are going to be a real bear this year. because of the healthcare costs that have gone up. I think, what is it, 40% or some huge amount. And so budget the everybody is very concerned about how we're going to pay our bills this next year. I think it's like, I can't even remember, $100,000 from Frontier, and because it's the municipal employees healthcare program. So the town is getting hit big time with all of those things. So so budget review you're going to hear more about it. And I have to say, getting back to the climate leader, one of the things we talked about was that that is probably going to be one of our best arguments, because the climate, if we can get solar, it reduced the costs that are coming into the town. I mean, you reduce the costs, and then you can cover healthcare easier. So anyhow, that's that's not interesting. There's the historical commission is working with the Deerfield Academy about signage on the old Deerfield Town Common, because everybody thinks that it belongs to Deerfield Academy with all the signage that is there, and in fact it belongs to the town. So there's some effort going into sort of remarking the town common as a town property. That's just a little bit interesting.
Where the statue?
Huh?
Where the statue that's now in Town Hall? Where that?
Right. That's where that was, and that whole. I mean, it's right in front of Deerfield Academy, and Deerfield Academy has lots of signs on it, and it's a historical. That's the historical commission wants to say, hey, this is a historical part of Deerfield, and put some different signage up, which is not all about where the admissions building is.
And students.
So that's
luck.
one thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. DA has pretty much decided they own the town here, but
I know, but we're not going there. John Stacy is a new library trustee, and looks like April is the full opening for that, and there's lots going on. Julie on the finance committee, they're beginning their work for the budget. And then the GZA final report I told you about, and the open space is resubmitting their trails grant and hoping that will happen, and they are looking at pocket playgrounds around town for grandparents to be able to take little kids to, be able to walk to smaller little playgrounds around town that just part of their mission. Alex the town has contracted with the Conway School of Landscape Design to because they want to qualify for a housing community of choice designation, and that'll be and also include ADUs and senior housing and lots of interesting stuff about that. So their Conway School of Design is going to help them collect information to be able to submit that grant. Park Street closure, Greg talked about. And the Old Deerfield wastewater treatment plant. Negotiations are still going on with the nonprofits. Deerfield Academy is talking about building new dorms, which means new toilets flushing into the wastewater treatment plant. And so, they're talking about electrical hookup, modernizing the electrical hookup to that. And they're, you know, I didn't get the impression that they were moving forward fast on who was going to pay and what was going to happen. But when it breaks down, those toilets and those dorms aren't going to work real well. So hopefully they come up with a solution.
Last I heard, DA thought it would be cheaper for them to build their own as a municipal thing, but
I don't
we'll
know. I
see.
know that conversations are going on, and it's been going on longer than you would think if it was a negotiation.
Yeah, okay.
But it, you know, I don't know this. Anyhow, that's awkward, shall we say? And
Yeah.
but somebody needs to do something about it. Eagle Brook's not going to be happy if Deerfield pulls out.
Yeah.
Neither is the Deerfield Inn.
Yeah.
Neither's
me.
David.
Or me. No, I went to some meeting and I said, "So can I flush?" They said, "Oh, absolutely. We'll let you in." But anyway, any other things? Action items, new business? Are we done on CCI? I just moving things along here, but
Yeah, there was some stuff from a CPC. They're talking about the historic, the steeple repair on the what is called the Meeting House now, and what to do about St. James. The CPC
Community Preservation Commission is.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, they want no, the open space wants a conservation trust. And this is I think this actually does apply to us in a way, because they are talking about getting $100,000 conservation trust from CPC, so that when something comes up, like to purchase a conservation restriction or the various things like that would work for open space, they wouldn't have to wait a whole year to apply to CPC. They would have a trust. Now, if you remember, so it's called a conservation trust, and the CPC would fund it. But we wanted to get an energy,
Yes.
decarbonization energy
Right.
kind of thing like that. And we talked about a revolving fund. But the idea is from the money that we make from all the conservation, energy conservation and solar that's coming into the town as a result of what the Energy Committee has done. We had talked about wanting to have something that would where that money could go towards additional conservation or other, things that were good for the town. And everybody says, "Oh, what a good idea." And then you never hear anything again. Maybe we can piggyback on this conservation trust and somehow set up something, that wouldn't be run by us, but it would be designated for, energy efficiency, conservation, decarbonization projects. Just throwing that out there.
That should be on our next agenda, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how we pursue it properly, but
can't hurt to
I think
keep
that's all.
nagging. Okay.
David, am I just going to say that we're tabling the review of December's minutes?
Yes,
Okay.
since I don't have them.
I did to people. Yeah, I love when you can send them out with the meeting notice, and you can bug me if you haven't gotten them from me, but I usually try to send them out right after the meeting.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, and I can't find it. I don't know what happened.
But if David, if you would take on the responsibility of sending them out with the agendas, I might actually read them more often, because going
All
back and
right.
finding them,
Yeah, I did try and didn't have time to
yeah, no,
pester Lori.
you know, and I
Well,
wouldn't have gotten it done this time either, so.
I could also, when I get your meeting notice, I could just resend out the,
Yeah, that would be good. Next meeting. When should we do it? It's a short month.
Well, no, it doesn't matter, because it's a Zoom, so I probably can.
yeah, I guess I would have, I don't know, kind of want to avoid the third week in February, but I don't have any
Because
plans.
of vacation.
Yeah, I don't have any plans at the moment, but let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the 12th or the 26th, maybe the 26th. Do we have a big reason to? We don't have any.
26 looks good to me. That would be
deadline.
best for me.
I'm gonna be in an airplane
Oh,
Oh,
on
some
the
excuse.
26th. That I can do it on the 25th or the 27th, but it's hard to do from an airplane.
yeah.
Let's do the 25th. Anybody, how does that do?
Um,
Yeah.
we'll workshop from 6 to 8:30, so that'll be a lot of Zoom for one day.
Oh dear.
Um,
27th.
No, Friday, nobody wants to do it on a Friday. How about on the Tuesday? If we do it at 4, I could do it.
The
Okay.
24th,
Yeah.
I should be fine.
Works for me.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. Well, there we are for now.
I just wrote February 42nd in the minutes. Next meeting, February 42nd.
I'll be there.
Okay.
4 o'clock. Beep. All right. Well, how about we get out of here?
All
I
right.
move we adjourn.
Do we
Second,
see a second? We have Lori. Do we
Or-
have a vote to adjourn?
I
Looks more than unanimous. Pat is ready
Pat
by
Pat is definitely
really ready.
adjourning.